Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit Review time. Today we've got Meng's latest release. This is the 1/35th scale British Warrior. Again, one of these things where we don't see many of these around. Academy did one, which is, you know, a fair old age now. So it's nice to have a brand new up-to-date kit of this iconic fighting vehicle. So as we can see, big difference with this one over the Academy one. It's got that huge bar armour right the way around, all the newer optics and all the various protection systems for the crew, as you might imagine, right the way on. So it is a bang up to date version of it right here. Lovely box art, as you can see on there. Quick run round on the box. Obviously you've got the colour call outs from AK, but pretty much it's sandy colour. Alright, so we've got all of those on there. Kit number for this one is SS017. Okay, and we've got a little bit obviously about the Warrior on the back there and the usual bits. So in the box we are greeted by, oh wow, that's a different colour styrene. My word, I don't think we've seen styrene that colour for a while. Okay, so we've got a bag obviously with the main compartment in. We've got the turret. Okay, there's that bar armour, which we're happy to see is all moulded in one. It's going to save a lot of work. All the fun of doing tracks, and there's lots of pins in there, so we're assuming it's separates, so that will be fun. A little bit of clear parts as well, and a jig. There it is. Hours of fun for the whole family. Okay, and then obviously we've got a couple of screws with all the main parts in it. Bit of box. That. Okay, some of the other parts down in there. And then, oh hello, what have we got in here? So, let's get rid of the box. Okay, we've got a pin in there, some photo etch and some decal, which is fair enough. Okay, so in here, I'm intrigued. What's the cardboard part? Okay, if I could even get in. Okay. In the instruction bag, let's keep that over there, we have, oh, hello. So we've got cards. So if you've got a file system, obviously various bits in here. Let's find the English version. There we go. So this is obviously, it's all in different languages, so this is the version just for the English one, as we can see here. So we've got various articles down in here about it, and obviously about the theatres and various systems, and the upgrade system with the test system, and then obviously a little bit of reference photos around on here as well. So again, a little bit gimmicky, but actually quite a nice touch. So we like that as well. So very nice indeed. Okay, instructions as always. We'll start off in here. So, oh, we're in colour. Okay, lots of firsts here. Not only have we got weird colour styrene, but we've got colour instructions as well now. So there we go. Anyway, working, usual thing. So it looks like it's got sort of torsion bar workable suspension, which is quite a nice touch down under here. So usual thing, popping all of that in, and then it's that normal thing of adding all the lumps and bumps and bits and pieces right the way over the upper and lower hulls. Okay, going in on this one. So again, it's not a full internal one. This is an exterior version, but again, it looks very nice. Wheel system going together. It looks like quite complicated the way that the drive sprocket goes in there. Road wheels with a polycap, pretty standard right the way through. And then we've got this. So again, it's this system about obviously popping all the links in there, sandwiching it together in the little box, and then shoving the pins in. The only trouble you have with it usually, and I think this is the same, they're only pinned on one side, so consequently if you sort of pull it around like this, it can pop out. It's alright, it doesn't go that way, but it will bend this way and then they can actually pop out. So you have to be a little bit careful on those. But nevertheless, it is a working type of track. So that's quite handy. Okay, and then carrying on, adding all the bits. So we've got all the stowage equipment down in there, all being added on with this one. Looks like we've got some decals as well for some nice bits like the fire extinguishers, nice touch. And then hatches, fully detailed internals for the hatches. Okay, which is nice. And then all the parts being added on right the way through. So we've got the door going on there, they've got the mud flaps, and again, nice little things talking about for the painting guides as you make your way through. Okay, and then this is the big bit. So we've got this sort of bar armour going on the outside, and then obviously all the parts for holding it and stuff like that. It looks quite complicated, but I imagine once you've done one side and you've sort of done one, the rest of it should fall into place quite straightforward. Okay, so all of that wraparound armour being fitted down onto there. Then in case it's up with the turret, adding all the parts into the turrets we can see. So we've got all the periscopes, that classic with the actual sights, which looks like eyes when they're undone on the actual Warrior. And then again, all the upgrades being added to this one. So we've got all the protection equipment being fitted onto this one, the wraparound armour. We've got the gun being fitted onto this one, which I remember correctly, it is the Bushmaster cannon on these, isn't it? I think it is, something like that. Very nice anyway. So, colour call out, let's face it, it's going to be sand. So that's your option down in there. And then obviously we've got all the colour codes. So down in here as well, we've got Acrison. Okay, who the hell are they? Anyway, they're down in there. And obviously Meng with AK for your colour call outs for those. Pretty straightforward, as you might imagine, that normal sort of thing with armour. So where should we start? I'll tell you what, let's start on the smaller bits. Okay, so what have we got down in here? I won't bother getting all these out. You can see we've got some grills. It looks like we've got a masking template for the road wheels, which is great. Okay, and a few bits, and we've got the actual cannon is a turned brass. So that's the actual cannon in there, which is a nice touch. Very good. Decals, let's face it, it's a couple of number plates and chevrons, and that's about it. Again, there's not a lot of point in getting this all out, but as we can see, we've got the periscopes, the clear parts, and your jig for doing all of the actual links for the tracks. So pretty helpful. Okay, speaking of which, let's just get them out of the way. They are individuals. They've got the pads already moulded into them, so it's just going to be a case of a couple of hours popping it in the jig, doing them in 5 or 6s at a time, and then pinning them all together, and away you go. To be honest with you, these look actually very nicely done. The nice thing about them having like this is that you haven't got to go around and clean up every single one as if you've removed it from the sprue, because these look like they're individually moulded versus, as I say, going through. It looks like they're just simply in pairs. So as you can see, we've got this one down in here. On the end here, it is a pair, so it's going to be a snip snip and it should be fine. Instead of having this thing where perhaps it's got mould points on both sides and you've got to go around and clean up every single track, which drives me berserk, okay? And again, it's probably quicker to go down the aftermarket route with a set of metal through tracks or something else like that than it is by the time you clean these up. But to be honest with you, these are very nice. You can see we've got actually the bolt detail in them and everything you'd imagine. So in what we've seen recently, where it's been up to sort of 5 or 6 parts per track times 96 or whatever it is, actually that's not too bad at all. So I think that's going to be quite acceptable. Down in here we have the actual, let me just pull this out. I needed one of those staple removers from school. Okay. And there we have a very, actually to be honest as well, it's got quite a bit of weight to it. But as you can probably see here, we've got very nice. And again, it's strange how just the colour of the styrene can change your look of it. But actually that looks very, very nice. It would be no different whatever colour it is in. But actually, as I say, in this lighter shade, it's pretty good. We've got no real flash. There's no seams or sort of mould marks in this or anything else like that. So again, looks pretty good indeed. So happy with that. Okay, so there's your turret. Hull system. Perhaps I should open the box first and de-pin everything in them. It might speed up the reviews a bit. Okay, so we got polycaps, as we all know, everyone loves polycaps. And then in here, as we can see, we've got the top. And again, there's not a great deal to see on these, purely because obviously you add all the areas, but we don't have any anti-slip moulded in or anything else like that that sometimes you see. But generally you look at these edges and things like that, it's all very sharp, crisp details in all of these. So I think in that actually all looks very, very nice indeed. Okay, happy with how all of that's looking. No problems with it again. Good sharp details. Internally, just because we're going to be putting the torsion bar into this one, you've got the jigs in and then obviously they poke out the side. And again, when you look at it, you can see good, high quality, sharp moulding on all of these with the bolt ends and stuff like that, which again are fantastic. So they take the wash really, really well. And again, I like them because they've got a slight edgy look to them. So good with those. And again, details go right underneath. We don't have any big ejector pins on the bottom or mould input marks and stuff like that. So again, looking pretty good all round on that one. Okay, so into, we've got more staples on this one. Okay, try not to destroy everything. How many staples can they use? Okay, so as you can see, big old sprue, and again, it's difficult to sort of see through the colour because again it's very, very light, but it's all good. Looks very sharp, no sign of any flash, no sign of any sort of sink marks or any little problems in that as well. That's very nice indeed. Okay, so if we have a little bit of a walk around, you can see this armour on the side for the plate, the actual locating points and everything else, that fully detailed. Very, very nice indeed on that. And then obviously if we work our way down, we've got the end looking good. We've got the underside, we've got that piping coming up. And again, if we work our way around, we've got the bottom. And then obviously down on here, we've got the rear of the fighting part compartment door. And then obviously all the parts, got the door itself looking all good right the way through, and we got, this is the wraparound armour that goes around the front corner. Again, very, very nice indeed, and some really nice details into this one. I do like it. Actually, the colour is now growing on me officially. Okay, it's one of those ones where sometimes you look at the plastic and it just doesn't look right, and it can be as simple as just the styrene colour looks awful bad. So, okay, so in here on sprue E, you can see, very nice. The only good thing about having this colour styrene is it shows beautifully on camera. Okay, but again, all the bolt heads, as you can see, really nice. We've got those rear lights and all the various things on there, the insides of the door, all the parts. We got bits of the cannon mantle there, and again we've got the mud flaps, the various parts. You can see the detail that's actually in these as well for the actual drive sprockets and things like that. Very, very nice. Got the hatch covers, the undersides, all the grills with the louvered doors, all looking very nice. Generally, I have to say the detail is fantastic. And again, it's good solid moulding as well. Sometimes these can sort of be like, yeah, but actually they look strong, solid bits on there. So again, nothing that you'd worry about that at all. All the ejector pins are slightly recessed. It looks like absolutely everywhere, but again, they are going to be tucked out of the way and you're never going to see them. So to be honest, that's nothing to worry about there. Okay, so I don't think we need to get this out. As you can see, this is your wheels and your sprockets. You've got 2 sprues of this lot, so 1 for each side. So basically, as you see, you've got your torsion bar suspensions running right the way through. You've got these pins, and actually even these pins look quite nice, domed heads on them, things like that. But as you can see on the actual road wheels, we've got the return, the idlers and the drive sprockets, multi-part. They've all got beautiful detailed bulkheads and various parts on them like that. And again, even right the way down to these grab handles, good solid grab handles all the way through. We like that. That's very, very nice indeed. Okay, gorgeous stuff. Very, very nice indeed. Okay, last up we've got the bar armour, which we will have a look at because again it's going to be an integral part of your model that everyone's going to see, and we just want to make sure we've got no flashing or huge burrings or anything else in there that's going to detract. And again, that looks very, very nice indeed. Again, if we have a look on it on here, as you can see, beautifully clean. We've got no flash in between them, which can happen sometimes. That all looks very, very nice indeed. Got a tiny little bit of flash just in here, but again, you're really getting picky now, but getting these out of the mold can be a little bit troublesome, shall we say. And again, that all looks very, very nice. And even on the insides, again, actually beautifully done. Very clean, very crisp moulding on all of that. There you have it. We've got now an up-to-date Warrior, which is great because again, it's one of those things, you've got your Challenger and obviously you always want your Warrior to go with it. We've got a new Challenger recently we reviewed and now we've got a new Warrior as well. So that's sort of really nice to complement each other. Again, very nice that it's got this armour system, which, you know, we have seen it before in photo etch and all these things, which looks like an hours and hours of fun. But it's nice to see very good, clean, crisp moulding on something like this as well. So when you pop it on, it's going to be absolutely fine. But generally, the big thing that comes out of this is its chunkiness and thickness, but it's got beautiful, sharp details all the way through on this one. So it's pretty much everything you'd ever want. So there we go. That is then the British FV510 Warrior TESS AIFV. Is an armoured infantry fighting vehicle, 1/35 scale by Meng. Obviously it is available as always in the PM store, so if you want to go in that, links are down below.